you're going to go into your September 22nd folder and you're going to click option 2 for the electronic copy. It'll bring you to this page. You're going to click periodic table and it'll bring up the periodic table. Okay, this is my copy right here. We're going to edit it together. What you're going to do is click file. You're going to go to make a copy, click entire presentation, and then you're going to rename it. You're going to name it your first name, your last name, dash periodic table. Okay, once you do that, you're going to press OK. And now it'll bring up your own copy that you will submit for a grade. All right, so now we have our periodic table here. If you notice, we have 9 different colors that we'll utilize today. We have some things that we're going to fill out. So the first thing that I want you to know is that there are 18 groups. They're numbered up here, but they go up and down. So they are vertical. These are called your groups. So we're going to take our mouse here, highlight that, and we're going to title this arrow groups so that you know that the groups go up and down. Okay, there are 7 periods on your periodic table and they are numbered down here, but they go across. So there are 7 periods here. We're actually going to type that here. So take your mouse, delete where it says type here, and label that periods. Now we have our groups labeled and we have our periods labeled. Remember again, there are 18 groups. They go up and down. There are 7 periods. They go left and right, so across. Okay, the first thing that I want you to know is that periods, these numbers here, these 7 numbers, tell you how many energy levels or orbitals or shells or rings each element or each atom of an element has. So if you are in period 1, you go across this way, that would be hydrogen and helium. They have 1 ring. So we're going to go up here where it says shape, click shapes, click the circle, and we're actually going to draw a ring just to remind us, and let's make that black. Just to remind us that there is 1 ring. So you're going to click this. If it's not showing black, you're going to click this pin here, click black, and it'll show as black. So if you are in period 1, which is hydrogen and helium, you have 1 ring. Okay, we're going to go back to shapes, click your circle. If you are in period 2, so that's all of these elements here, you have 2 energy levels. So this is a really easy way. I know we've been drawing out our atoms, but this is a really easy way to tell immediately that, hey, lithium has 2 rings, or beryllium has 2 rings, or nitrogen has 2 rings because they're in period 2. So we're going to go to shapes, click our circle. We're going to draw 1 here. And then we're going to go back to shapes, click another circle, and draw another one so that we know. And let's make that transparent and black so that we know period 2 has 2 rings. Then we're going to do the same thing for all of them. So period 3 obviously has 3 rings. So that would be sodium, magnesium, aluminum, silicon, phosphorus, sulfur, chlorine, and argon. We're going to go back to shapes, click your circle, and make 3 circles. So if you're in period 1, you only have 1 ring. If you're in period 2, you have 2 rings. If you're in period 3, you have 3 rings. Period 4, 4 rings. Period 5, you have 5 rings. And period 6, we're going to go back to shapes. And there's a little circle within a circle. So this will make your job a little bit easier. We have 1. Let's make that black and transparent. Should look like that. So 2, 4, Go back to shapes. Oops. And make 6 rings. So now you know period 6 has 6 rings, and then period 7 obviously has 7 rings. So we're going to go here to make it transparent again if it doesn't do it automatically. 4, 6. We're going to go back to shapes, do one last circle to make 7. Okay, so now you know period 7, all of these have 7 rings. If your question says, hey, how many rings or energy levels does hydrogen have? You can easily see that this has 1. If they ask you about any element in period 7, like francium, you can easily say it has 7 rings or it has 7 energy levels. Okay? With that being said, we have 18 groups, and under each number that you see a letter A, we're going to go into our shapes, and you're going to click a rectangle shape, and you're going to highlight any number with the letter A. So we're going to box, for example, this one here. You're going to click fill color, and you're going to click the color pink. And you're going to go back into fill color, go to custom, and where it says transparency, you're going to scoot this over to the left so that it's transparent. And now it should look like this. Pink, 1A. You're going to do the same thing for 2A. Skip all of these that have the letter B. Go to 3A, 4A, 5A, 6A, 7A, and 8A. And we're going to highlight those in pink. Go to shapes, rectangle, click here, highlight, and now you should see 2A. We'll make this a little less transparent. Go to custom, make it more pink. So 1A, 2A, do the same thing for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8A. So now we've highlighted 1, 2, 3, and 4. If you want to make your job easy, you can click one of these boxes, press Command or Control C, and then you're going to click Control or Command V. Control if you have Windows, Command if you have an Apple. So I'm just going to make a few more boxes, and I'm going to place them here, 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 and here. So now all of the letters, the letter A's with these numbers, have been highlighted in pink. These tell you the valence electrons. So groups go up and down. They also tell you the number of valence electrons. So if you're in group 1, you have 1 valence electron. So if I ever say, hey, how many valence electrons does sodium have? You no longer have to draw it out unless that's the question, obviously. But sodium, because it's in group 1, it has 1 valence electron. Magnesium, because it's in group 2, it has 2 valence electrons. If you go all the way over here, these groups, this is 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17. However, I want you to look underneath that number where it has the letter A. And all of these, boron, aluminum, indium, they all have 3 valence electrons. If you look over here, all of these have 8 valence electrons, which means all of these are stable. So now that we know that, we're going to go up to our pink box. And where it says type here, you're going to type in valence electrons. So the color pink tells you where your valence electrons are located on your periodic table. Now we're going to go to shapes again. And we're going to click rectangle. And I want you to go over here to group 18. and start at this top left corner of helium and drag it all the way down to the bottom right corner here. And it's gonna highlight this. What you want to do is go to your fill color. We're gonna click green. We're gonna go back to our fill color and click custom. And we're going to make this more transparent. So scoot it over to a little bit over the middle. And now it'll show as green. All of these are your noble gases, and each noble gas has 8 valence electrons, which we've talked about before. We're gonna click here. Green is where your noble gases are located. Okay? Once you do that, now that we know where our noble gases are located, we're going to go over back to shapes. You're going to click a rectangle, and you're going to highlight fluorine number 9 from the top left corner to the bottom right corner. And it's going to highlight it once again. I want you to go to your fill color, and we're going to click this light turquoise looking color. Okay, go back to your fill color, click custom. You're going to slide over to your left to make it transparent. What I want you to know about fluorine is that it's the most reactive non-metal. So we're going to go here where it says type here. And you're going to type most reactive non-metal. And if the font is too big, just go here and make it smaller. Okay, so now we know fluorine is the most reactive nonmetal. Now I want you to go over to the color red. Actually, go back over to shapes. You're going to click shapes, another rectangle, and I want you to go all the way to this bottom left corner for francium. And once you click francium from the top left corner to the bottom right corner, it's going to highlight it again. We're going to go to our fill color, and this time you're going to choose red. And you're going to go back to your fill color, click custom, and make it transparent. All right, francium is our most reactive metal. So we're going to go over here to red and type in most reactive metal. Again, if the font is too big, just make it smaller by clicking here where your font is located. Francium is actually used for explosives. So this is our most reactive metal. Now I want you to go back to shapes. You're going to click this rectangle here. And we're going to go over to hydrogen from the top left corner to the bottom right corner of the box. Again, it's highlighted. You're going to click your fill color, and this time we're going to choose orange. So now it looks like that. Go back to your fill color. You're going to make it transparent. So click custom, go to transparency, click that. Hydrogen is our most reactive gas. So we're going to put that here. We're actually just going to title it hydrogen, so that you know where hydrogen is located. It's the first element on the periodic table. Okay, so now that we have those, we know our most reactive metal, most reactive nonmetal. We know where hydrogen is located. We know where our noble gases are located. We know that groups go up and down, periods go left and right. We know valence electrons are highlighted with the letter A. And groups tell you valence electrons. We know that our periods tell us energy levels. Now I want you to go back to shapes. This color black is actually going to be titled our periods. So these rings are black. They show you periods. Now we're going to go back to shapes. Click another rectangle. And this time, we are going to highlight carbon through oxygen. So top left corner of carbon to oxygen, the bottom. And we are going to go to our fill color, and we're going to pick this royal blue here. Go to custom and make it transparent. Carbon, nitrogen, and oxygen are considered nonmetals. We're going to go back to shapes, and we clicked our rectangle, and I want you to start from phosphorus and go all the way to chlorine. These are also nonmetals. Then you're going to go back to shapes, another rectangle. Selenium and bromine are also nonmetals, so they should be colored blue. And then the last one is iodine. We're going to go back to shapes, rectangle, start from our top left corner of iodine, go to the bottom bottom left. So all of these are our nonmetals. So these are our poor conductors. They're brittle, they break apart easily. We're going to come over here where it says type here. And this color represents our nonmetals. And you can play with the color here so that it matches your nonmetals here. So now we know where our nonmetals are located. We know our most reactive nonmetal. We know our noble gases, our most reactive metal. We know where hydrogen is located. Now what we're going to do is use our shapes yet again. Go to rectangle, and this time I want you to highlight all of these at the bottom. So we're going to highlight all of these at the bottom. And we're going to highlight those in our fill color in yellow. You're also going to go to custom and make it a bit more transparent so we can see the element names. But all of these are yellow. And then we're going to go back to our shapes, back to the rectangles. And period 7, you're going to highlight the rest of what's left on period 7. So all of these are also going to be yellow. Then we're going to go back to shapes. It's a lot of going back and forth to our shapes. We're going to take it all the way across. And you're going to stop at number 84. So right in here. Stop at number 84. Then go back to shapes with our rectangle. Go all the way across, and you're going to stop at 50. So now you're going to stop at 50. You're going to stop right here. And so go back to shapes. From potassium all the way to number 31, which is gallium. And then you're going to go back to shapes. You're going to color these in yellow. You're also going to go back to shapes one last time. And you're going to color aluminum yellow. All of these that we just colored in yellow are our metals. So all of these are our metals. There are shiny, lustrous, very great conductors on the periodic table. We're going to go here where it's yellow, where it says type here, and you're going to type in metals. These are all of our metals. So majority of the elements on the periodic table are considered metals. Now, in between the mommy and daddy, metals and nonmetals, are your metalloids. And we're going to start with boron. Boron the moron, he fell down the stairs and created the metalloids. And then we have germanium here and antimony here. They're sneaky. They're the ones who tripped boron down the stairs, so they went and hid underneath the stairs. So we're going to go to our shapes, click our rectangle, and you're going to highlight boron. But boron started the metalloids. We're going to color those purple. We're going to make that transparent. This is boron. Make it a little darker so we know it's purple. Then you're going to go back to shapes, another rectangle, and we can highlight silicon and germanium. Make those our custom purple. Then we're going to go back to shapes, our rectangle here. Those are purple. Go back to shapes. And we're going to color number 52. And go back to shapes one last time. And we're going to color number 85. And if it doesn't automatically do it, just go back to your fill color and our custom purple. So now we know where our metalloids are located. They are in between the metals and the nonmetals. So now we have all of our colors filled out. You should know where your noble gases are located. You should know where your metals, your nonmetals are located, your metalloids. We also highlighted our most reactive metal, our most reactive nonmetal. We highlighted each valence electron, so any number that has the letter A after it, it shows you how many valence electrons for that group, okay? So then we also highlighted our periods, which tell you how many energy levels each thing has. All of these are metals that are yellow. Majority of them are metals. I do want you to create a text box. So you're going to click this T within this box and come over here, and just some quick reminders that if you have 1 or 7 valence electrons, that equals very reactive. We can move this over just so you can see what we're actually writing. Another thing that you need to know, just as a reminder, is that protons plus neutrons equals mass. Okay, if you didn't remember that, notice that all of group 18 has 8 valence electrons with the exception of helium, okay, which means that they are stable. So let's create another text box because I just want you to remember this. 8 valence electrons equals stable, which means they're not reactive. And stable is just another word for not reactive. All right, and I think that is pretty much it for our periodic table. It has all of your tricks and clues so that you don't have to continuously draw Bohr models to figure out what's what. We got our periods. We know where each type of element is located. Metals, nonmetals, metalloids in the middle, noble gases. Everything is highlighted. Valence electrons, energy levels. In order to send this to me, go to File, go to Download. You're going to download as a PDF. Once you download your file, it's going to create a PDF. You're going to go into your folder. You're going to submit your PDF so that I can see your beautiful color-coded periodic table. If you have any questions, please send me a message, leave a comment below, and have a wonderful day.